I'm going to invite Katie Metcalf to come on up this morning. As you know, we are in a specific season that we believe God is calling us into over the next 2 years, and that is why we are having something called This Matters, Living for What Lasts. This is our generosity initiative. We are asking individuals in our church to pray and ask God for direction in your own life this morning, that you would think and pray, how would God have you to participate in what we believe God is calling us to do as a church body. We have said before, I said this last week, but I'll say it again, we believe that God is leading us to expand our reach in our communities, both here at this campus and at the Lavernia campus. In both campuses, there are just simply space issues. In Lavernia campus, the issue is the building that we have right now, the space that we have is not enough. We are turning away, many times we're turning away families with their kids because we just don't have any more space. That is both a volunteer issue and a space issue, but we know that even the space that we have is not enough. On Wednesday nights, we sometimes have people that come to me and say, hey, I'd like to start a group. Could I meet at the church on Wednesday night? And I literally have to tell them we have 0 rooms available at this point. Every square inch of our campus is being used on Wednesday nights. We have nowhere for you to meet. So space is an issue at Lavernia campus, and we need more space. Here at Shirts, we see God already growing our church in a great way, and we know that long term, we would like to, if God would provide it for us, we would like to have a more permanent place. We are grateful for this school allowing us to meet here. We're so grateful for the many, many people that show up here early on a Sunday morning and set up. But that is yes, all right, give it up. Thank you. That is a huge task, and it is a continual faithfulness, and it does get tiring after a while to show up every Sunday morning. So we foresee that we need a more permanent location where things can already be set up, where we have space for people to meet even during the week. And so there's been an opportunity given to us to potentially purchase property just across the way here at Shady Oaks. So we see these 2 areas. We just have to deal with them. We don't know exactly how God is going to lead. We just don't know that. But what we are doing through This Matters is asking you as an individual that's been attending Grace, who has been blessed by Grace, we're asking you to say, God, what do you want me to do to be a part of this? Now, I want to guarantee you that there will not be any pressure for you to give a certain amount financially. Or I would even say this, to give anything financially. You may be in here right now and say, Jim, I can guarantee you right now, with the financial situation I'm in, I'm out of work, I don't have the resources. We're not asking for you to give in that way. If God's not leading you to give, then don't give. But what we are asking is, can you help us? Can you come in and volunteer? Can you be a part of what we're trying to do here? Because we are always looking for more volunteers. God has blessed every person in this room differently. He gives out grace in different measures, and that includes financially. So some people in here may be able to give a lot. Some of you may be in here may be able to give nothing. And some of you may say, I've never given to the church before, ever. We're asking you to pray, would God have you start giving at this point so that we can reach more people by expanding our reach? So what we've been doing the last couple of weeks is providing some testimonies from people in our congregation who God has already been working in their lives simply to take a step of obedience and be more engaged with what God is doing in His kingdom here at Shirts and at Lavernia through Grace Bible. And this morning, we welcome Katie Metcalf to come and speak to us. We wanted to ask her a few questions. We would love for you to hear how God has been leading in her life. So Katie, thank you for being with us. Her husband, Jerry, who's an elder here, he cannot be here today because he got called into work. Otherwise, he'd be up here as well. But we're thankful, Katie, for you being here. Why don't you introduce yourself for those that may not know who you are and your family? Just introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Katie Metcalf. Me and my husband have been attending Grace since my daughter was an infant, so almost 13 years, and we started in at the Lavernia campus, and I greet at the front. I am part of your welcome team and lead that team. We're small, so if you want to help us, we would love that. But I love meeting new people and introducing them to what a community is all about, and so I think that's like a big step. Hopefully we've been able to chat before. If not, I'm here. But I have, me and Jerry have been married for 13 years, 14 years next month.
It's 14.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I was like, it'll be 14 years next month. Yeah,
I thought
14.
you were looking for me to help you in
No,
some
I was
way.
thinking, 14 years next month. I don't know what month it is.
Gotcha.
I have 3 kids, you don't know at that point. And so I have my daughter Avery, who is 13. My daughter Miranda will be 11 next week. And then I have a 7-year-old son, Dylan. He's one of those little creatures that runs around here. Because this is home to him. He doesn't know anything outside of church. I actually don't think my kids know anything outside of church. It's fine. But that's part of the goal, right? To know Jesus. And so everything we do is woven with Jesus. But yeah.
That's good. That's good. We're going to let you hear Katie's testimony, mainly surrounding how God led her into mission work, and that changed you. So tell us a little bit. You obviously had a heart for missions early on. What did that look like early on in your life before you actually took a trip?
Yeah, early on it was mostly like local missions. My mom grew up volunteering, and she just has a heart to serve the community, and so that involved a lot of her job. And when you're a mom with kids, your kids go everywhere you go. And so for me, that looked like serving locally all the time, and then in our church, serving locally. We had the opportunity when I was in junior high to actually, part of our church, our youth pastor formed a new church, and so we started in a school. So I got to experience starting a new church and living in a school for a little while, for 2 years, and then renting a building for a couple years. And then now they have a huge campus that they've been building onto for years. And so I experienced that. So when we had the opportunity to do that here, I knew that in itself is a mission, because you're in whole new territory. And that group of people becomes your community, it becomes your family. And there is nothing like that group of family and community. And so growing up, I think that was a really big part of me having a good foundation and just role models in general. But it was always local. It was never across anywhere.
Yeah. So you had an opportunity eventually, pops up. You're a mom. You had little kids, obviously.
Yeah. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had 2 toddler girls, and then just had Dylan was a baby, and we had been going through quite a lot. Our middle daughter goes to the hospital a lot. She has a rare disease, and there's about 200 kids in the world with this, and so it's not something that we have an end to. There's no cure for. There is life every day, and that's what we're praying for every moment we wake up. And so we were a little stressed and stretched, but Jerry was just doing what dads do. He was providing. He's been a good husband. We were trying to show up at church. And for a mom, I'm at home taking care of the kids, and we're doing a lot of things. And it didn't really provide me the space to think, I can go out and do this. And so that opportunity popped up.
Yeah. So what's that look like? Suddenly you're done with that sort of toddler phase.
Yeah. Well, they asked Jerry first.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't think that call was for you. I think that call was for me. And he looked at me and he's like, you've lost your mind. Like, number 1, we can't afford that. Number 2, you're not going. Who's going to take care of the kids? And I immediately volunteered his mom and my mom, or voluntold. They'll do it. And if the Lord provides the money, I will go. And at that moment, I just knew there was something that the Lord stirred in my heart. Like, if you're going to be the mom to lead these kids, what does that look like for you? And how far are you willing to go? And so I just knew in that moment, I have to go and do whatever it takes to show them who Jesus is. That's
good. So your first overseas mission trip is England. Mm-hmm. So what's that like for you the first time you go on an overseas mission trip?
It was really tough because when you go, you have these expectations, and we're in Texas in the United States in a small town. There's like these little bubbles that you're used to, and like you have these expectations. It's totally different over there, and everything that you try to hold on to, that you try to control, that you think you're going to help do, it turns into something completely different. God really stripped away everything from me and really opened my eyes to this group of people who were meeting and praying over everything. nothing came first but the urgency of prayer and sharing the gospel. Like nothing. Like not what you were going shopping, not any event you were going to, like nothing. They do everything together. Their urgency for prayer was there. And everything they did just depended on sharing the gospel. And I just had never felt something like that before. And they just sacrificed everything. And so I just thought, wow, this is what it probably really looks like to follow Jesus.
I've heard so many people tell me that their first mission trip really changed their outlook in that way. Mm-hmm. So what's that look like? You come back from your mission trip. Now you're back into regular life with your family. How does your family see you different than when you first went?
They thought I was crazy, which I might be a little bit. But my urgency and probably extremeness of really praying for everything and having hard conversations and not letting things go was it was pretty overwhelming at first. And they will make jokes still. Well, if Mom puts us to sleep tonight, she's going to preach to us. Or she's going to have some story or something. And it made me feel the urgency that Jesus is interwoven in everything that we're doing always. And so why wouldn't we talk that way, and why wouldn't we share that in everything we're doing always? Yeah.
So you and Jerry have been taking steps of obedience along the way. Even here at Grace, if you map that out, you can see that. You guys have oversee a young adult small group, which is a lot of work. Jerry has just become an elder here at Schertz campus as well. How does that look? What do your kids see? How does that affect them as they see mom and dad kind of stepping out, going all in, making that decision to do that?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I learned going on the mission was just that obedience really matters so much, like in all the things that we don't want to do, because every time you say, oh, I don't want to do something, or like, I don't think I'm going to. Jerry was supposed to be with me here today, and I thought he was going to do the talking. And the Lord would have it a different way. But that seems to be the case all the time. It's always the Lord's plan. We just have to be obedient and sacrifice whatever it takes. But they have seen us, they've been involved in everything that we go through to certain extent. And so I think them really walking through that with us, and us being parents that hold their hand through really hard moments, moments where we've had to depend on people in this church. We've had to depend on what the Lord is going to do specifically, because that's who we're dependent on. We're fully dependent on Jesus, because I can guarantee you we wouldn't make it, especially without the people in this community. And they can have conversations with people. They have a firm faith. They're not scared. I think just being able to walk with them in that obedience and be tough and be brave, they know the truth. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is like every time we do something, we're sharing with them, like, the Lord wants us to have those people over. The Lord gave us this house, so we're going to open our doors. The Lord tells us that we need to do this, so we got to do it, but we're going to do it together. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is like we don't do anything without each other, and we don't do anything without praying first. Yeah. And so the coolest thing is they've been able to now, both of my girls have gone to England twice, and they look at it as a treasure, like an absolute treasure. Like they could care less for Disney World, anything. They are looking towards that and for that. And my son, a couple months ago, he said, when I get older, he said, you just go start churches. I'm going to go start a church in Hawaii. And I was like, I'm going to that one. Right, I'm going with you. But he looks forward and thinks it's like this beautiful thing to want to go start a church, even on the hard days when he doesn't want to come, like maybe this morning. That's what he wants. Like, it's just there. And Jesus sacrificed everything for us to wake up every morning with a breath in our lungs. And if all I have to do is be obedient to him and listen, no matter what it costs, to me, every day is worth that. And we just decided that we felt this urgency and this need. We just have to do it, because there's nothing else to live for but Jesus. And so that's it.
Our title of our generosity initiative is this matters, living for what lasts. So if you could sum up just your journey, where God is taking you on, what would you sum up as the main lesson you've learned in this whole idea of you and Jerry, your family, living for what actually lasts? How would you sum that up?
Yeah, truly we want to leave a legacy that says, hey, from us to our children, to our grandchildren, to anyone that we come in contact with, they didn't know us by anything other than that, first and foremost, we love Jesus. I don't want them to see an illness. I don't want them to see ADHD. I don't want them to see any of these things that we can deem in this world. I want them to see the urgency and love and compassion that Jesus working through us all the time is truly what we are living for. And so that really has just been the thing that we question. Days are hard. And so there are times where we over and over again, we sacrifice our marriage and we just offer it up to God. We offer our children up to God. We offer each other up to God. And I think our friendships, our relationships, it's just so important over and over again to feel the urgency and the need that is the gospel, to truly share and give everyone up and sacrifice what you have no matter the cost, because the perfect example is Jesus did it for us. And so that's just what we want to live for.
That's great. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for giving us your time. Give it up for Katie Metcalf.